All right, quick question for you. When was the last time you finished a beer and actually looked at the bottom of the bottle? I mean, really looked. If you flip a typical brown glass beer bottle upside down, you'll notice something odd. Around the very edge of the base, there's a ring of tiny ridges, almost like gear teeth or the edge of a coin. They're not just there for looks. And no, they're not some fancy anti-slip design or random manufacturing artifact either. These little notches have a job to do, and believe it or not, they're more important than you might think. Today, we're diving into those outer ridges, the ones that look like they've been carefully molded into every bottle as a sort of afterthought, right here, on History of Simple Things. So let's start with how these bottles are actually made and moved around. Modern beer bottling lines are mechanical beasts. Thousands of bottles are processed per hour, filled, capped, labeled, and packed with mind-boggling speed. During this entire journey, the bottles have to slide across metal and rubber conveyor belts, get picked up by suction arms, and land in exact positions multiple times. Here's where the ridges come in. Those tiny grooves at the bottom edge help reduce surface contact when the bottle slides across a flat surface. Instead of the entire bottom dragging along, just the ridges touch the belt. This minimizes friction and helps the bottle glide more smoothly along the line. Think of it like a set of tiny built-in feet. They slightly raise the bottle and keep it from scraping or dragging. This not only makes the bottle easier to move, but it also helps reduce wear and tear on both the bottle and the machinery underneath it. And in a world where micro scratches or tiny nicks in glass can cause real problems, especially under pressure, these ridges act like a layer of protection. It's an industrial design decision that helps bottles survive the gauntlet of high-speed production lines. Now let's talk stability. You'd think a flat-bottom bottle would be more stable, right? But with condensation, slippery surfaces, and varying temperatures in play, things get tricky. Those ridges add traction, especially when the bottle is placed on wet or smooth surfaces. Think of a cold beer bottle on a glossy bar top in the middle of summer. Without those ridges, the bottle might easily skid or slide with the slightest nudge. But with them, you've got grip. The ridges interrupt that slick film of moisture and give the bottle a firmer base. And while it's not quite the same as putting rubber treads on a tire, the logic is similar. More friction, better control. It's one of those little design tweaks that bartenders and customers alike benefit from, even if they've never noticed it consciously. Another cool thing about the ridges is how they play into stress distribution. Glass is a brittle material. It doesn't like uneven pressure. If a beer bottle were to slam down flat on a hard surface and the bottom had no ridges, all that impact would spread directly across the flat plane of the base. That can cause chipping, spiderweb cracks, or in rare cases, total failure. But with those ridges, the force gets channeled. The pressure points are concentrated at the grooves, which act like tiny shock absorbers, spreading out the impact more gradually and protecting the structural integrity of the bottle. It's subtle, but for something that might be dropped, knocked, or shuffled around in transport, it's surprisingly effective. Basically, it's a low-key safety feature baked into the glass. Let's step into the world of breweries and bottling plants again, specifically their cleaning processes. Beer bottles go through rigorous washing before they're filled. Whether they're recycled glass or fresh off the mold, they're washed, sanitized, and dried at high speeds. Now imagine setting a wet bottle on a completely flat surface. The water pools under the base, but with ridges, water can escape more easily. The grooves allow liquid to drain out, keeping the base cleaner and drier during both the cleaning process and after use. This might not matter much to you while sipping a beer on the couch, but in commercial environments like restaurants or breweries, it adds up. The ridges help prevent mold buildup, sticky residue, and bacteria from hiding underneath a bottle. Sanitary design through simple geometry. This one's a bit more high-tech. Some bottling lines use machine vision systems to scan bottles as they're moving through the line. These scanners rely on knowing exactly what a bottle is supposed to look like, and those ridges act as a kind of consistent reference point. Their uniformity helps machines orient the bottle correctly, verify its shape, or even determine if a bottle is defective or off-spec. In some factories, even robotic arms use the ridge texture as a kind of grip cue, because let's face it, smooth glass is slippery. But a robot designed to handle bottles can use the texture for grip feedback and control. Those little ridges? They're like tactile signals for machines. Now, while most of the reasons we've talked about are practical, there's still something to be said about aesthetic consistency. People associate certain visual features with quality or tradition. The ridged base has become part of what a beer bottle looks like. It adds a subtle texture that signals this is familiar or even this is sturdy. Even though you rarely see it, it's baked into our expectations. So much so that even novelty or craft beer bottles often include it, whether they need it or not. So there you go. The next time you're holding a beer bottle, flip it over and check out those little ridges on the bottom. They're not just there for fun. They're the unsung heroes of the entire drinking experience, helping with transport, washing, grip, durability, and even machine recognition. It's one of those small, invisible details that make the whole system run smoother without you even noticing. Kind of wild, right? That something as tiny as a little groove can play such a big role? Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.